This is the Moog Grandmother, a monosynth with semi-modular design. In this video, we will talk about Grandmother's modular capabilities and the sonic mayhem it can create. Patching can be used to override internal connections. This allows each section, like the sound sources, filters, modulation sources, envelopes, to work as an independent module. Cool thing is, due to its semi-modular nature, the Moog Grandmother requires absolutely no patching to start creating sounds. It's also pretty easy to expand your Moog Grandmother with other modular systems using the Eurorack out. The Moog Grandmother provides us with two oscillators with almost the same design. Each has its own waveform and octave settings. The waveform switch allows you to move between a triangle, saw, square, and narrow pulse. The frequency knob detunes oscillator 2 from oscillator 1 over a range of plus or minus 7 semitones. The center position puts oscillator 2 in unison with oscillator 1. Activating the sync button locks the pitch of oscillator 2 in relation with oscillator 1. This forced synchronization causes the waveform of oscillator 2 to take a more complex wave shape useful for creating sharp and metallic sounds. Let's take a look at the mixer section. The oscillator 1 knob increases the output level of oscillator 1, while the oscillator 2 knob increases the output level of oscillator 2 as it enters the mixer. The noise knob sets the level of the white noise. The cutoff knob specifies the frequency at which the filter begins to reduce harmonic content. Raising the cutoff frequency lets more harmonic content pass. This results in much more brighter sounds. Setting the oscillator knob above 1 o'clock will impart gentle distortion. Pushing it further will result in overdriven tones. The Grandmother's dedicated modulation section is based around an analog oscillator that operates in the low frequency range, commonly known as the LFO. Make sure the mod wheel is turned up to hear the modulation. The rate knob sets the frequency of the LFO. You can use this for gentle pitch modulation or extreme fast FM-like modulation. The LED flashes in sync to the rate settings. The cutoff amount similarly determines the depth of modulation applied to the cutoff frequency of the Moog ladder filter. The pitch amount determines the depth of modulation applied to the pitch of oscillator 1 and oscillator 2. The cutoff amount, pitch amount, and pulse width amount are all used to specify the amount of modulation. Again, turning the mod wheel down takes off all the modulation. The Grandmother also has an onboard 6-inch reverb tank. The mix knob is used as a dry-wet knob for the spring reverb. The LFO from the modulation section can also be routed to noise in to utilize it as an oscillator. The mixer's noise knob now controls the level of this new signal. The utility section gives Grandmother a series of sound shaping tools, with a 4-point multiple, high-pass filter and a bipolar attenuator. Oscillator outputs from the mixer section can be routed into the input of the high-pass filter. Routing the output from the high-pass filter to the cutoff input allows us to use the high-pass knob to vary the value of the filter's cutoff frequency. Let's take a look at the Arpeggiator and Sequencer section. To record a sequence, move the mode switch to record. Each step can be entered as a note or as a rest blank note. Individual steps can also be entered with a tie or an accent. 3 sequences can be stored, with up to 256 steps per sequence. All sequences are retained even when the device is powered off. Clicking on the hold button allows the sequence to continue playing even when your hand is lifted from the note. The rate knob sets the playback speed of the ARP or the sequence. A fine-tuning knob at the back of the Grandmother enables us to adjust the overall tuning of the instrument. Fine-tuning knob at the back of the Grandmother enables us to adjust the overall tuning of the instrument.